Of course, here's your full story copied out exactly as you wrote it, with no changes. All formatting, emojis, punctuation, and phrasing preserved. After a week, it's here. It's by me. Pretty much just the titles for the paragraphs and some spacing of were to put paragraphs are by ChatGPT. See improvements. Should I change the name Yum to Dansen, short for Caramelldansen? Tell me how it's like to read. There's two parts. Part 2 is in the replies. 18 min for manual reading. Read introduction, people in this story. Joj the inventor, Sus the inspirer, Dan the robot dog, Ice the chillax person, Jax the Mars guy. Yum across time. Yum from 2025, time travels from his time of 2025 to 2100, and here's some Caramelldansen playing, but it's not clear where. It not Joey's robot dog Dan. Following the tune, Joj finds Sus. Sus is 90 and a big fan of the powdered drink Yum. Sus drinks it 10 times a day, and it tastes like orange juice and tea at once. Sus drinks the drink once every hour from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sus likes Yum so much because Sus sees it as the best powdered beverage of its type. And Sus found that out after Sus first tasted the beverage back in 2025 when Sus was a professional beverage tester. Sus tells Joj to make Yum when he travels back to 2025. Blueprint for Yum. Sus tells Joj to first make some orange juice and tea, then use a vaporizer from China to make the liquid into a powder to make the beverage Yum at home. The same machine NileBlue used in the video, making the world's most powerful Red Bull. Sus says the next step after making it at home is to bring it to an expo in San Francisco and offer free samples of prototype Yum to attract the Mars company to start mass producing it. Sus says Yum is one of the most consumed beverages in the world by 2100, and Joj's startup might be a success, but only might because there's not much time, only 96 hours till the expo, when Joj gets back to 2025. Joj tells Sus that machine sounds familiar. The first sip and slogan. After Joj is told all this stuff from Sus, Joj's stainless steel dog Dan plays Nightcore Caramelldansen as Sus adds just a decagram 2 teaspoons of the powder into a mug. But Sus decides to be sus, like Sus's name would suggest, by giving Joj a small mug that's only just big enough to fit a single serving, a mug that's only a deciliter when filled to the brim. Dan plays 0.5x speed Caramelldansen as the scene changes to some water spilled on the floor. Then back to 1x speed. Sus hands over the mug filled almost to the brim with 90 milliliters of Yum in a mug for Joj to try out. 0.5 speed plays again as Joj takes it fast and spills some of the beverage. Now there's just 80 milliliters of Yum. After drinking it, Joj gets some spur-of-the-moment inspiration and says 1. Dansen time. 2. It's giving me telekinesis. 3. Fever high. 0.1 temperature. Sus is amazed because those are the 3 slogans of Yum. Sus tells Joj to use those phrases as the slogans for the beverage when Joj goes to the San Francisco Beverage Expo. Joj thanks Sus and time travels from 2100 Sus's time to 2025 Joj's time. Joj immediately go on the phone to buy this special vaporizer from China's Apple of Factory Appliances, the same one NileBlue used with Joj's life savings. Joj also gets a big 30-liter teapot because it looks pretty. It all arrives just 48 hours later. Joj then goes to the grocery store, but Dan starts play 0.5x Caramelldansen again. Joj knows that means something tense is going to happen. Next moment, someone wearing a shirt with an image of a cracked glass of frozen water. They say, "Sup, Ice here? Are you the one who's bought that machine from China?" Joj gets suspicious and says, "No." Ice says, "'Kay, but I'm gonna take the Jew out of your juice," and leaves. Dan keeps playing the slow song even though Ice has left. Joj finally goes about the plan, buying some orange juice, exactly 5 2-liter bottles of orange juice, because when thinking up a random number, it was 5, a pack of 100 black tea bags, 12 individual 1.7-liter kettles from Walmart with the last of the life savings. The Great Steeping Experiment. Joj is back to the house he stays in, but Joj doesn't know what time to steep the tea in the hot water for. But Joj's Apple Watch can't find a wormhole to get Joj to 2100, so Suz can tell Joj how long to steep the tea for. So with one of the kettles Joj got from the store, Joj makes 3 different mugs of tea with a 250 milliliter amount of water. One steeped 3 min 180s, one more for 1 min / 60s, and lastly one steeped in 5 min and 300. Joj is smart. He knows not to add any milk. The orange juice may curdle the milk. Dan's battery gets low, so Dan probably won't be in the rest of this story. My bad. Joj in the kitchen. Joj tries the 5 min tea first, but only when the tea cools down to 60 degrees Celsius or 140 degrees Fahrenheit to prevent burning the tongue to stay good at testing the flavors. Sip Joj almost spits it out onto his shirt because it is just so bitter. He tries the 1 min one next. Sip Joj finds it tastes a bit too delicate. Lastly, Joj tried the 3 min brew. Sip Joj finds it nearly bold, slightly thin, but promising. Joj now knows to make a new mug that's steeped between 3 and 5 min. Joj instantly thinks 420 and brews the tea for 4 min, 20s. Sip Joj finds it's bold and well-rounded, just right. Balancing the brew, tea meets orange. Our tea-making hero then starts experimenting with the right amount of orange juice to add to the 250 milliliters of tea. Joj first tries 150 milliliters of OJ. Sip. Joj finds it overpoweringly citrus-heavy and unbalanced. Joj then tries 50 milliliters of OJ. Sip. Joj thinks the oranginess is too subtle. Next, Joj tries 100 milliliters of OJ. Sip. Joj finds it nearly balanced, mildly citrus, pleasant, almost enough orange juice. Joj now knows to make a mix with in between 150 milliliters and 100 milliliters of orange juice. After an instant of mental math, Joj figures out 125 milliliters is right in between. Joj then tries 250 milliliters of tea with 125 milliliters of juice. Sip. Joj finds it balanced, vibrant, and refreshing, as orangey as it ideally be. Joj finally finds the perfect yum ratio. It's 2 parts tea to 1 part of juice. Deciliter is 10 liters. Mass production machinery. Joj plays this Caramelldansen video in the background as soft approval in Joj's head. Joj then starts to sort of mass produce it by making 2 deciliters of tea with 80 tea bags by using all the electricity sockets in Joj's house for all 12 of the kettles. Joj almost forgets about the kettles because he is deep into the beat. Once all the kettles are finished, Joj puts the hot water in the 3 deciliter teapot. Joj then adds the 80 tea bags in the teapot and sets a timer for a time of 4 min. 20s. Once the timer was done, Joj painstakingly takes out the tea bags. It's a long process, but at least the tea person is using a pasta spoon. After 2 min, the tea bags are all out. Joj realizes the tea bags may have taken some of the liquid with them, so it's not exactly 2 deciliters anymore, but surmises it's good enough. Joj is worried the tea might be too bitter because it took him 2 min to get the tea bags out and 4 min. 20s plus 2 min earned 5 min. Joj knows how the 5 min brew went. Joj figures it's good enough. Too long for one response, continuing with the rest of the story immediately. Here is the continued full story, copied exactly as you originally wrote it. Ratio and blend. Joj does some mental math, figuring out that the ratio of 250 milliliters of tea and 125 milliliters of juice is a 2-to-1 ratio. So the big batch becomes 2 deciliters of tea and 1 deciliter of juice. Joj subsequently adds 1 deciliter of the orange juice to the tea, and as luck would have it, it fits tight, with no leftover space. Powdered perfection and the journey to the expo. The teapot is too heavy for Joj to move, but the vaporizer machine is on wheels. Joj turns the machine on and puts the vaporizer's tube in the soon-to-be yum, and it sucks it up. Weird. After 24 hours, the Joj gets tired of trying to drown out the noise by looping Caramelldansen, but eventually just realizes the loud sound is causing sleep deprivation. Joj goes to the machine and investigates. Joj finds powder at the bottom of one of the jars of the machine. Joj grabs a mug and adds 1 decagrams, 2 teaspoons of the powder into 1 deciliter of water. Sip, Joj says yum, and that's how it got its name and serving size. Joj excitedly puts the powder into a jar and boards a plane to San Francisco at 2 p.m., just 20 hours from the annual beverage expo starting at 10 a.m. How's it going so far? See improvements? Welcome back, part 2 here. Here's a 420 steep tea plus 3 sec to take the tea bag out. Nerves and first impressions at the expo. Joj arrives at the expo and is nervous, thinking, what if they don't like it? Then someone at the Mars company bumped into Joj and gazed at the jar and asked what powder is in that jar. Joj replies, nothing. It's my new beverage. The Mars guy says, what sort of beverage? Joj replies, orangey tea. The Mars guy says back, sounds interesting. Come to the table and let our testers try it. The two of them bonded quickly and exchanged phone numbers, then a fist bump. ChatGPT enhancement. On the way there, Joj notices a nearby booth with a sleek blue banner that reads, Chillax, molecular ice in a sip, and a demo sign, 2-degree drop in 2 minutes, stay cool forever. There's even dry ice smoke drifting from the stand and someone wearing gloves handing out frosty samples. Joj looks back at the Mars guy, a bit more anxious now. Ice waved high. Are you sure they'll like it? Most drinks are sort of good, but only a few are great. Joj somehow winks back and makes Joey's way to the main table of beverage testers. Joj is now at the table with a tester. Joj asks, what's your name? The tester says, what's up guys, Sus here. He's 15 and this is the first day of being hired. Joj anxiously observes Sus. Sus first tries Chillax at Zergsuit or 32 Griefer. Sus says it's giving me brain freeze. Sus now craves a room temperature beverage. Here comes Joj's beverage. Joj works up the courage and goes on to show Sus what up. Sus asks, how do you make the beverage? You put 1 decagram, 2 teaspoons of yum into a deciliter of water. Sus the tester says, it's cool how our water comes from a freaking cool bubble tea dam. Joj says, I know, right? I heard about that from a Veritasium video called, Why are 96,000 black balls on this reservoir? The taste test and the big break. Sus the tester then pours out a deciliter of water into the powder and stirs it. It's 25 degrees or 77 degrees Fahrenheit and takes a sip. Sip. This is giving me telekinesis. Lol. Then Caramelldansen plays. It's from Joj's phone ringing. Joj answers. It's his neighbor complaining about the loud sound. Joj references Balthazar Brat from Despicable Me 3 and says to the neighbor, I've been a bad boy. Joj gets back to Sus the tester excited, and before long, Joj was handing out drinks to everyone. Needless to say, it was a hit, especially compared to the icy competition. Joj signed a few papers and told the recipe and said it should be called Yum, and the slogan is Yum gives you telekinesis and other phrase. The Mars guy soon struck up a deal with the Mars company, who soon struck up a deal with their Mars bar sector to also make Yum. Yum goes viral. 1 month later, Joj is sleeping. Joj wakes at the early time of 7 a.m. to Caramelldansen. Joj thought, who's phoning me at this time of morning? Joj answers, it's Jax the Mars guy that bumped into Joj. The Mars guy told Joj that Yum had become a meme, with people recording themselves having the beverage, then apparently getting telekinesis through video editing. Joj replies, wow, even your words are giving me telekinesis. Lol. And that's how the call went. Joj hears Caramelldansen again and picks up the phone. It's Ice. Ice says, good job, Joj. How about we both be winners? Let's climb a mountain. You decide which one. Joj says, sure, I'ma tell Sus. And ends the call. 1 hectogram is 100 grams. Final section continues in next message. Here is the final part of your story, copied out exactly as you wrote it. No edits, all emojis, formatting, and punctuation preserved. And chronoports. George started making money for the first time in Joey's life. So George goes to the grocery store and saw big 5 hectogram packs of Yum at Walmart and decides to check out what the big fuss is about and buys one. George thinks it would be a great idea to add to the meme. George starts a video saying, "What's up, guys? It's Yum. Peace out." Then George hears Caramelldansen faintly playing on the store speakers. Coincidence? George buys one for $8 and goes home. George arrives home and, in an ephemeral amount of time, George makes some of the Yum that was bought. George adds 1 hectogram into 1 liter of water and drinks it while watching this Caramelldansen YouTube video. Afterwards, George gets the last of the prototype Yum and then finds a wormhole to 2100 and travels to Suss's time. He arrives in Suss's living room as Suss was watching Caramelldansen. Suss notices George and says, "What? I didn't think you'd be back so soon. After all, it may have been days for you, but it's been just a few minutes for me to see you again." Suss continues, "Have you made Yum yet? I'm thirsty." George gladly nods and takes out a plastic bag of old Yum. Suss excitedly said, "Is this your prototype Yum? Let's try it." George asked, "Where are the mugs?" Suss replies, "In the kitchen down the hallway." Kitchen clues and tiny mug theoried. George goes through that passage. By the time George got to the kitchen, he heard a familiar tune. George finds out where Suss was playing Caramelldansen from. From earlier, it is Caramelldansen playing on Suss's iPhone 100. Also realizing the speakers are excellent, just like iPad ones. George then grabs Suss's phone and also grabs 2 individual 500 milliliter teapots because none of the mugs are big enough for George, because the only size of mugs available from the cupboard are the deciliter ones, probably because Suss is obsessed with the serving size of Yum. George also sees in the cupboard that that's where Suss keeps the ibuprofen, aspirin, and paracetamol acetaminophen. As George walks back to Suss, George wonders and thinks, does Suss keep getting headaches because Suss uses those mugs are too small? I bet they barely hold a deciliter, not even half a cup, leaving Suss dehydrated. The catalyst and the inspiration. George is now back in the living room and tells Suss, "I saw ibuprofen and other meds in your cupboard. Maybe hydrate more to stop the headaches." Just like Suss told George to make Yum. George tells Suss to fix Yum's serving size. George shows a new serving size by mixing Yum with 5 deciliters or 500 milliliters of water. Suss's eyes pop out and says that's a great idea. Once George is done mixing the beverages, George sees it fits in the teapot with no extra space. Nice. Then the two of them sip, sip, sip. Suss exclaimed, "This is almost as telekinesis-inducing as our 2100 Yum. How did you do that at home?" George says, "I got some inspiration from NileBlue." Suss says, "He's still known about even now." George continues, "I saw him make concentrated Red Bull, and I thought that I could get that machine too. That's why I said that machine is familiar. Suss, you were the catalyst." Suss says, "Wow, so you knew about that machine before I told you?" George nods. Mountains, madness, and future planned, with Caramelldansen from Suss's phone still in the background to set the mood of chaos and caffeination. George adds, "I think this beverage will help me climb Mount Everest with ice." Suss is astonished and inspired, saying, "Can I go to 2025 to climb that mountain with you?" George adds in, "Welcome aboard our epic expedition." Suss, in the heat of the moment, said, "Let's go to Antarctica next." George replies, "Oh, heck yeah, boy." George and Suss travel to 2025 together. Then they meet up with Ice and form good measure. They even phone Jax. Caramelldansen plays in Jax's house and picks up the phone. "Hi, George here. Let's climb Mount Everest with Ice, me, and Suss," Jax says. "Sure," and puts Jax's phone in the pocket. They all meet up at San Francisco International Airport to try to climb Mount Everest, then Antarctica, to be continued. ChatGPT enhancement. George and Suss stood at base camp, a thermos of Yum in one hand, a selfie stick in the other. The expedition had just begun. Ice and Jax are there too. Want to see the next part? Let me know. I'm ready when you are.